Okay.
So thank you everyone for tuning in to Global Chamber San Antonio. I'm Christopher Herring. I'm the Executive Director. Today we're celebrating International Women's Day, and we've just had a great morning. Now we're in the afternoon, and we've heard from Yasmin, who talked about Women Life Freedom and her company. She's from Iran. We also just met with Lily Gindi and Romlet Metz from Egypt and the Philippines. And now we have Dr. Patience Miller, who's an OBGYN. Later today, we're going to hear from our former and past chair, Dominique Liu, along with one of our new realtors, Nora, who happens to be a global real estate professional and represents a organization called SABOR, the San Antonio Board of Real Estate. And as we power down in this evening, we're going to talk Girl Power Strong with Cheryl Cherry, who is the CEO and founder. And that will be a great conversation. And then before we even start with Dr. Patience, I want to say congratulations to Emily Meadows, who went to Arlington, Texas, and brought home the Miss Teen Texas International crown. And we're going to celebrate her later in Women's History Month. She is a part of our Young Global Leaders membership and program of Global Chamber. So, and I also want to say thank you to Dr. Miller for investing in Emily, as Emily was receiving contributions for what she was trying to do, which was to bring home the crown. And then lastly, we have Women's History Month celebrated throughout the month of March, and you can go to globalchamber.org and put the /events so you can actually see what we're doing, and you can sign up to take part in what we're doing. So today we have a great interview. Look, Dr. Miller just came out of delivery. That's right. As an OBGYN, she's fabulous, and she's a board member of Global Chamber San Antonio. So today I'm very happy to say welcome to Global Chamber San Antonio's celebration of International Women's Day. And please, Madam Chair, please ask Dr. Miller, because I know she's short on time. She's delivering babies.
Every single time. Yes, of course. Thank you so much, Chris. And Dr. Patience, Dr. Miller, it's really honored to be here with you. So, and just really going back to San Antonio. I know your background, or you were born outside San Antonio. So could you share a little bit about you and what brought you to San Antonio, and just make the
so I was born in Republic Democratic of Congo, DRC. I've been in San Antonio. It was the first city I landed. I've moved in and out of it, but I landed here in September of 1993, exactly a month before my 19th birthday. So I moved here as a fiance of a U.S. citizen, so new in town, speaking, just like a conversational, hi, how are you? My name is, kind of English. When I moved in, spoke French and other languages, but not English. So I've been here, I was here from 93 till 98 and moved out. So in that time period, I was a student at UIW. Well, back then it was a college then. It wasn't a university yet. So I did my undergrad and graduate studies there for biology before I moved out to do medical school outside San Antonio. Then I went out, did medical school, did residency, and then I've been back to San Antonio since 2000. It's been almost 17 years after I finished my residency, and I've been practicing here.
Venezia is our vice chair of Global Chamber San Antonio, and I'll allow her to ask the next question.
Well, Dr. Miller, thank you again for joining. It's a pleasure to have you speak to us today. I know we already know, Chris has said you are OBGYN, and you gave us a little bit about your educational journey and you first coming to the US. I know that must have been a very intimidating kind of process for you as a young woman, and that
Yeah.
could have definitely been kind of formulated your impression of San Antonio and of the US. But if you can give us a little bit of more background on your business, on like, what do you do? What's your business story?
My when I finished school, I came here and I joined somebody else's practice. So I worked under another physician in his practice for 2 years, from 2016 and 18. And then after that, I opened my own practice. I mean, not 2006 and 2008. So after that, I opened my own practice. So I don't have a manager. I am the managing director, CEO of Patients Miller OBGYN. Very, if you look us online, we are among the top OBGYN clinics here in San Antonio. We enjoy pretty good reputation in town. Love serving my ladies here in San Antonio. I have women from all backgrounds who come to see me, and it's my life passion, really. Since I was 11 years old, I wanted to be OBGYN, and I think I have a knack for business. So I love running my practice. I do little dabble in other businesses also here and back home. But women's health is what drives me, really.
Women's health, yeah. Wow, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. I know my OBGYN is just so important to me. I know a lot of women share that same sentiment that, yeah, it is the cornerstone for them. So, but thank you for sharing that.
This is where I'm speechless in terms of being able to contribute to that part of the discussion. But I will say this, Dr. Miller, we're gonna leave that right there. Dr. Miller, you are a giving woman. And then when I met you, you actually supported Yasmin in one of the marches that they had to free women in Iran. But I also know that you have your own personal nonprofit that you give to, and I want you to kind of share, what you do for women in particular, because I know that healthcare, the cost of healthcare is astronomical. That there are people who they're not getting the very best support.
Yeah.
And so just describe, tell our audience, and also your location, because you didn't tell us where you're located.
Yes.
You can drop all that into this chat so people can know how they can actually use you as a service provider. But I want them to know your heart, because you are a woman who gives, and prayerfully, I hope that your business overflows. And so go ahead, tell us more about who you are. And you have a great name, Patient. So,
and I am patient. So that's a good thing. So my location. My location now is gonna actually change in 2 months, but I'm in the medical center area. If you just put Patients Miller on Google, you're gonna find us among the top OBGYN that's gonna pop up. So I'm right now in Ewing, also right across from St. Luke's Hospital, and we're online everywhere. You just put Patients Miller OBGYN, you'll find me. As far as other things that I do, here in San Antonio, I like very much. I do attend to my immigrant populations, especially young ones, young women, young men, especially the ones going to school. I make sure I'm in contact with young immigrant students to helping them navigate through getting into a higher education. Because most families that come here, they have kids, they have kids that are going to school, but themselves are not speaking English yet, or they don't have time to learn English. They have 2, 3 jobs that they have to be at so the kids can survive. So you have these kids will finish school, they might finish high school, but they don't know what to do, or doing already in college. So I recently I met with some kids at UTSA that want to go into medical fields, and just helping answer their questions and hear my story. Sometimes people just need a little bit of encouragement, or see a face that identify with them to get the extra boost to continue with their path. Myself, when I came, I mean, every time I'll tell someone I want to become a physician, they'll literally like, you can't even speak English. What do you mean you want to go to medical school? I got that a lot. And I really didn't have people to support me. If I did not trust myself, that I knew my inner capabilities, I probably would never even attempted to go to medical school. So knowing my own story, I like helping people in that sense. I love cooking also. And so I went, and I understand also when people come from a foreign country, they're coming from any country, from Africa, from Cuba, who are used to wholesome meals. When you come, when they get out the places that, like some jails that they end up at, or whatnot, they all, those immigrants are placed in different hotels or different homes, being served hamburgers and hot dogs, and so they just want to eat something warm, and just something simple as beans with sauce and some yams, some plantain, something they're used to. So when I have time, I do things like that, where I'll cook and find where immigrants are, and feed them. So I do that here. As far as women's health, I do most of my nonprofit things back home in DRC, because women's health is just it's almost non-existent, and the maternal mortality and infant mortality is quite high, as is in most third world countries. And so we just launched a nonprofit over in DRC. Forever Gina was my uncle's wife, who raised me, who passed. I was 11 from a miscarriage, didn't have adequate health. So it's just fitting with her short-lived story, life story, that will continue to foster that, so that women can access quality care, and also mainly education. Right now, bridging education from what I know about women's health, talking to physicians and nurses in DRC, and educating women to know their health life cycle, so that they know when something is wrong, when they can seek care or not. Just basic but very important knowledge. And so that's what I'm doing back home.
Thank you.
Great, thank you, Dr. Miller, for for sharing that, like how involved you are here in San Antonio, but also outside, right, in your home country. And this is such an important topic to talk about, right? Like women's health, and you've been doing incredible job. So, and you share a little bit about your inspiration, what brought you to that, right? Since your early age, you've been really inspired to be in the women's health, in the OBGYN world. So do you have any personal advice that you would like to share, something you feel important to really inspire other women out there?
Yeah, nothing. Everybody has I can't inspire people to be like me, of course. Everybody has their, life story, their own script you mean. So there is such a beautiful power in individual. If we bring the individuality together, and that's where the power really and the beauty of everything we do. But what I tell most women, I'm a mother, actually, I'm a mother of 3 girls. And so what I tell them is to always know their purpose. You can be walking around, just waking up in the morning and walking around not knowing what you're doing, what's your purpose here, that God placed you here. You got to be doing something. And so I know your purpose and uh, foster it and make it a service to others. And once you do that, you'll be happy. My life is so crazy. I run around all day, but when I wake up in the morning, I still want to do it again because I'm helping other people, and I find my joy there too. I mean, I take time to take care of myself, but when I do for others, I find joy, I find peace, I find strength, and I find inspiration. And so, really knowing your purpose, loving yourself, not emulating other people, so that you find your true power, and that's really what it is.
Wow.
Yeah, all of those are very, just very inspiring. And I know you wouldn't want tell anyone to follow what you're doing or emulate you, but just listening at all the things you do, that certainly inspires, I'm sure inspires a lot of women, young and older, that are surrounding you. Can you tell, Dr. Miller, can you tell us just a little bit about maybe a woman? Since we are in International Women's Month and International Women's Day, a woman that may have inspired you along the way, along your journey in life, personal or professional, or both?
Actually, the person that inspired the most, of course, is still my uncle's wife who passed, that I celebrate every day through my work and my nonprofits. This woman was something else. We lived in a very small town in Africa, very rural area. She was married. She had 4 boys. She had a business. She would ride a bike around town. She rode a bike. She just, I wanted to be her. Like when I was little, like I want to be like her, because she was smart, and because growing up I knew I was intelligent, but and I knew a lot of other intelligent girls, but they didn't do anything. It was just you were born, you got married, and you had kids. Maybe if you like it, maybe you teach, or you be a secretary. Maybe that was what the women did where we were at. And so I was like, I want to be like her. I want that. I'm she still inspires me. When it's not her day today, but if you when we sit and talk about her, it's like she was ahead of her time, because it's been years that she's passed, and she's still relevant in my life today than it was that she was years back. So yeah.
And it brought you to tears.
Yeah.
That's special, and that's what this is about. Just reflecting on the good people who have impacted our lives. And thank you for sharing that. I was looking at your background, Dr. Miller, and then I'm looking at my board chair, and you guys, you two both have children in common. Monica, can you tell Dr. Miller about your business and what you do? Because I think one supports the other.
Yes, we've spoken about that. We've
Yeah.
already talked about that. Yeah, go ahead.
We definitely share the same passion, right? For creating families. So yeah, from my end, it's through surrogacy, through really helping those who cannot conceive for whatever reason. And so just really walking them through their journey, through their surrogacy journey. And we do share with Dr. Miller the passion of helping those people and the parents, the surrogates along the way to really like early today, right, to really witness the delivery and just a new beginning of their family. So yeah.
Yeah, so I just actually have a patient I saw yesterday who was doing
Mhm.
surrogacy for her sister. That was
Yeah.
pretty awesome.
So it's just it's just incredibly rewarding experience to make to see people happy and achieve their dreams. Mhm.
Dr.
And
Miller, I know that you're on your lunch break, and I really appreciate the time that you've given us. Most of us will never deliver a baby, and that's that. What do you feel like when you're able to take a family through the process of delivery of a child? And I had a recent person in our city who sent me a picture of you after meeting you in person. They were like, "Hey, I just met patients the other day at the march." And so it was cool just to see that we're in such a small world whereby you can connect with someone in the streets, but
Yeah.
yet the next day you can see that they know you professionally. So tell us about this great gift of being able to help parents to have and conceive their children.
I mean, it's a privilege, really. I always feel like I'm walking in other people's, stories every day. Most of them are happy, sometimes not so happy, because we have unfortunate situations. But most of the time, it's you just participating in the most joyful time of people's lives. And also just through the pregnancy, you get to know the women, you get to know their families, and it's just rewarding. About 2 weeks ago, I was delivering. I've been taking care of this couple. He's foreign, she's foreign, from a foreign country, and she had a lot of pressure in getting pregnant, and she couldn't. She was having a baby. She was 41, and I'm preparing to deliver her the next day because she's starting to have some complications, and she started crying. I said, "Well, why are you crying?" I said, we don't see," and she had, I thick accent. I couldn't even tell what she was trying to say. "I don't see God, but I see you. I don't see." I said, "What do you mean?" And her husband says, we saw a lot of people and they turned us away. And when we came to see you, you helped us through this. So that's what she's saying. You're reflecting God. I say, "Oh my God." So it's just things like that. She just kept saying, I don't see God, but I see you." So I think that should be a lesson to all we do is trying to, not everybody's a Christian, but whatever is you doing, trying to reflect that, treating everybody fairly, and treating when people come to my practice, you can be smelling like you smoke something, or you could be the CEO of USA. Everybody is treated exactly the same, and you reflect that in the genuine care to people, and yeah, it's just great.
That's refreshing that you say that, because we know that even in healthcare, there are different types of disparities in treatment, whether it's women's disparities in treatment, racial disparities, ethnicity. I mean, there's all kind of ways in which people sometimes are just not treated like they should. So we thank you for role modeling what excellence looks like, and what care for, your customer looks like. So thank you, Dr. Miller. Venezia has a question, and so I'll let her
And I hope it's a very fun question. I mean, you are an international, both of you are international women, but when you think about all the places that you've been, the cultures you've experienced and the food, can you just tell just everyone, just what was your favorite place of visiting?
So far, yeah, I travel quite a bit. I love going to Costa Rica. I think I had the most fun there. And they have this saying, pura vida, that's pure life. So there's this joy in living in everything. So I really, that's so far has been my best travel place. I loved going to Costa Rica, and I just came from Ghana. That was my first other country except my own DRC. I haven't gone to other. I've traveled to Europe and other places, but I've never gone to another African country. So I just came from Ghana, and I loved it. You know, of course, the food and the music and dancing stuff. So I did love the spirit of people there in Ghana as well.
And did you find it to be very different from your country in Ghana?
No, I mean, they don't dance as good as we do, but yeah. No, not very different. Not very different. Yeah, we are pretty much yeah, the cultures and foods are similar. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Madam Chair, do you have a closing question?
Yeah, well, I've been really enjoying the conversation, and really just, seeing the connections, just really taking, coming from a different country, making a difference here in Texas, in San Antonio, but also giving back to your home country, or really, connecting all those dots. So I really do appreciate that. So thank you so much, Dr. Miller, for doing what you're doing, for the inspiration, for really being involved in so many different initiatives. Not just in your own field, not just the healthcare, but really caring about other causes as well. So just around here and around the town, I know I've seen you around in, internationally, globally as well.
Yes, well, thank you for having me.
Thank you, Dr. Miller.
Yes, and to say I'm also opening a beauty supply store, so it's a Women's Day, so I'm taking care of you in health and in beauty. So I'm opening a beauty supply store. It's gonna open in 2 months.
Oh, okay.
Talk about it. Yeah.
I love that. What part of town? We're in San Antonio.
It's gonna be in the medical center on Fredericksburg Road. Yeah. Yeah.
Please make sure to keep us posted.
Yes, of course.
So I'm going to share with us before we sign off, the next interview will be with a financial services expert and a real estate expert. And so we'll be back on at 3 Central Time. Again, we've just been, we've learned so much today during this International Women's Day. It's great that we're able to spend this type of time together, because we see each other in passing, but I wanted the overall community to be able to know who you are and the excellence that you bring to Global Chamber San Antonio. Just your work alone and everything you're doing in the community is a great reflection of who we are. And so I want to say thank you, and thank you, because you didn't have to do it. You didn't have to join us, but you did. And it's been a blessing. I mean, I can really say that we have some of the top medical doctors in San Antonio that are on our board. And you don't have to be, right, Dr. Miller? You don't have to be, but you chose to be. And so thank you. And again, we're just trying to do our small part today to say thank you.
Thank you so much for having me, Christopher. Thank you, Monica. Thank you, Vanessa.
Thank
you. Have a blessed day.
You have a blessed day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.